strap yourself onto my back and let's go.
Use this opportunity when you hear Aaron every week to really tune in, and he's going to the moon.
What do you think the top 1% of earners are in this country? Going, I don't want to get to that point going, man, I've left it too late. This bullshit that people peddle on YouTube and they get views off the back of these thumbnails. Misery loves company, man. G'day everyone, welcome back to episode number 2 with Bernadette Christie David. We just had a quick chat before we jumped on. It's a bit of a no holds barred approach, which is, hey mate, we want to go deeper on some concepts and really double down on some of the philosophies, some of the ideas that we're really putting out. Before we kick off, anyone that's in the investing space will know, Big Ray Dalio out of America. I saw this amazing quote online. So he talks about people in their 40s. Which is kind of where I am in my journey in life. Ray Dalio calls it the tightest point in the arc of life. Too young to rest, too old to be careless, too responsible to pause. I'll say it again. You're too young to rest, you're too old to be careless, you're too responsible to pause. And I was like, yeah, and it goes on, and I'll definitely include some of the extra parts of that quote there as well. But when you think about it, too young to rest, I don't want to stop. Like, I feel like 40s to 50s, you're in some real prime of life, especially in your career, wherever you are professionally as well. Kids are potentially starting to come out of that baby phase. But I'm too old to be careless. Like now, I can't put a foot wrong financially. I'll set ourselves backwards too far, for example. I can't just follow a passion project and quit my job. You can't be careless like that. Can't chase a passion project and become self-employed overnight without any real plan. And too responsible to pause. Like things are going way too quick to go, hey mate, we need to stop, we need to slow down. You can't just put your mortgage repayments on hold. You can't just stop the kids from growing up and holidays and everything. So you're in this bit of a wedge. And how do you then get the space to make clear financial decisions? And this is something that we speak about a lot, which is, man, the kids are coming at us, business, life's just happening. And you go, I just need to come up for some air so I can make some decisions with absolute clarity.
I feel this greatly. Often I feel like, and I don't want to keep saying this to myself because what we tell ourselves becomes our reality.
Yep.
But often I have said there's not enough time. So what I've really been striving to do, one, just for myself to start, is wake up a little bit earlier and just go outside with my cup of lemon water and just have some time. Sit. Looking at nature, meditate, having a little bit of time and just having that space. Because those mornings where you wake up, you're late, kids are coming out, you've got to pack the lunchbox, you've got to move, got to get to work, you're straight into meetings. It just goes. And then you get...
That's you with a 5-minute commute from home to the office, mate.
It's true. Like, I don't have a commute.
Yeah,
so
correct. We don't. We're not in Sydney, so we don't
Yeah.
We have a very minimal commute, and even then we're running late.
And I still feel it.
Correct.
And I felt that I've really felt that need because there is an intensity, and we have so many decisions that we have to make on a daily, weekly basis. To have that time in the morning for just myself, for us as a couple. Mate,
the worst time is the only time sometimes is at the end of the day / after the kids have gone down. It's the worst time.
So we have become, and we work together. Yes, we work together. I barely speak to Aaron during the day. So
rarely, yeah.
We have scheduled a half-an-hour meeting, which again is not enough, once a week, on a Friday. Fridays are a quieter day for us. Beginning of the week, people are coming back off the weekend. They've had conversations. They've seen properties. They're firing. Friday is a better day for us. You find your day. You find your moment. But there's no kids. There's no distractions. And we lock in. I prepare, and I will say, mainly because I'm giving the updates, I will prepare for a good 2 hours before that meeting. You're maybe not even aware of that.
I'm sure you are, yeah.
But I have to keep Aaron, and because I have such a tight turnaround time, that 30 minutes, I have to make every moment count. So for me, that's why I prepare for that meeting. We've got a running spreadsheet where we have a tracking system, whatever the project or the task, not started, in progress, completed or blocked. We've got due dates, I've got comments on my last update, and we just whip through that. And then that is how we have managed, on top of our 13-week rolling cash flow spreadsheet, to maintain a sense of control, oversight, but also finding that commonality and that communication on where we're at with all things financial and life related.
Yeah. So this is at you. If you're feeling this way, like you're in a bit of a vice grip as a couple, and you need to loosen that vice grip and come up for some air, and how do we get clarity as a couple? Tune in. This is where the conversation is really trying to go. Again, we spoke about financial friction in the last episode. This is the outcome. So we're giving you, I won't say the solution, but we're giving you a solution if you're stuck in the whirlwind day to day as a couple going. And I'm talking to specific people here. I've had a chat to you guys a year, 2 years ago. Oh yeah, we're talking about buying a property. Come back. Nothing's happened. Quite frankly, I haven't followed you guys up because I don't follow up. I don't feel the need to follow people up. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it done. If it's a high enough priority, you will get it done. I'm not here to babysit people and follow you up. If you want it as a couple, you need to get... What happens is kids are starting school. Life has got in the way. This has happened. We want to take this holiday, and your personal investing plans are pushed down.
Well, you haven't put a due date on it. So if your boss or wherever you work said to you, hey, we need to get this done by end of quarter one.
Oh, mate. The amount of times I see people prioritize their careers.
Yep.
And I get it. And mate, that's who's paying the bills. If they were that diligent with their own personal things to get done as they were with your career, mate, you'd change the game.
If I can give an example, last year we set a goal for 2025. So for those who have listened, Aaron and I always spend at least a good 2, 3, 4 days preparing for our year in advance. So for the year of 2025, it's around November, December. November, December of 2024. We actually start planning for 2025. So we get some sort of idea, vision board, dot points, and we just have a sort of a bit of a running list going. Then we actually have time separately where we go away, we'll journal, we'll write. He'll do the same, and then we come together and actually talk about what are our individual goals and then what are our shared goals. So in November of 2024, we set a goal to buy a number of investment properties in 2025, and we're very fortunate that we achieved that target. But that
fortunate is one word, intentional is another.
Intentional.
Because when you set a goal, you start to work backwards from that. And I remember I got to probably halfway through the year, and I probably put a rocket up you going, Bernie, we're halfway through the year. I don't think we're on track.
And we weren't.
We weren't. And I said, mate, we set a goal. I'm not budging.
And we had a number of roadblocks. The buyer's agent that we were working with, they weren't able to provide any more properties. They had a limit cap, and we had to get creative. If we had just stopped at that point, we would have stopped. We didn't take the roadblock as the final no.
Correct. And it was, okay, find a way. And it needed that level of intentionality and laser focus to get the outcome. Because we'd faffed around for the next few months. Yeah, mate, we'll wait for people to get back. Oh, yeah, I'm still waiting for them to respond. Mate, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in now, which is momentum. And the results and success loves momentum. It loves traction, for example. Where energy goes, focus flows, that type of mentality, which is I am not taking no. Yes, this is my responsibility. I'm not leaving this. If the buyer's agent says, nah, get in line. If the accountant says, nah, I can't get to it, I'm like, hey, look, mate, what can we do to expedite. I'll happily pay a fee to get that bumped up the queue, for example. I'll do whatever I need to kind of push and nudge as well, respectfully. But it's like your career. The only person that's responsible for your career is yourself. And the only person that's responsible for your portfolio is yourself. The only person that's responsible for your health is yourself. And if you're sitting handballing responsibilities off to other people, you're not going to get those results. And I take a fairly hardline approach to this, going, even within the team, within our 4 walls at Atelier Wealth, I'm like, mate, your career is your responsibility. And you got to be an adult. And I see the amount of times I see people with excuses trying to build portfolios. I'm like, your portfolio is your responsibility. And I'm sorry if that sounds a little bit harsh.
Not harsh, but if I can bring it back to what you said earlier about being in your 40s, I think that there is, because I'm not quite there yet.
Yes, good on you.
I think for people in your 40s now, there is this 40 to 50.
It's the decade of growth, 100%.
And it's the decade of growth, and it is a decade of, if you can be intentional and if you can plan and if you can execute with your partner, when you get to 50, oh my gosh, I just cannot. The excitement that I have for you guys about what you're going to unlock. It will be another level.
You know who said this really well? You got to go back to an episode I did with Peter Raptis a while ago. Remember Peter? He's got a big beard. He's a valuer, right? But he's shot from the hip, completely not valuation related. He's like, mate, when he got to his age, 50s and 60s, he said you actually see people that have made good financial decisions. I was like, man, he's got people in their 50s and 60s still trying to pay off mortgages. You know, sending the kids to private schools. Hey, mate, none of this is pot shots. All I'm trying to say is this is an example. Success leaves clues, and his kind of success leaves clues story is you get to the 50s and 60s and you see people that have actually made some good financial decisions that now they've got themselves out of mortgage jail, for example. They didn't fall into the trappings of just holidays on credit cards, keeping up with the Joneses, for example. And I think that's one part that's really resonated and stuck with me. Going, I don't want to get to that point going, man, I've left it too late. I left my run too late because I wasn't willing to make some concessions. And the same would apply to health.
Yeah.
You take out wealth and you put wealth in there. You take out wealth and you put health, and you go, you see people in their 50s and 60s who are fit and healthy. They didn't leave their run too late. They've made conscious decisions to train their body. You see testosterone drops once you get to 50. You see, females, I think your bones get brittler after you get 40, or muscle tends to drop away at a certain percentage. And I see that personally, which is why then I've got to double down even more on training, on fitness, on recovery, on going to the mental gym, for example, because we all have our good days and our bad days. But the investment that I'm making into our wealth, the investment we're making into our health in our 40s, 30s, 40s is going to set us up for a very good life in our 50s and 60s. And
just the tapping into that emotion of what that feels like. I kind of for, Peter or whoever he was speaking about, I can only imagine that feeling that you must have when you're 50, 55. Can you imagine? Mortgage is paid off. You've got spare cash flow to take your family on a holiday once a quarter.
Mate, when your kids want to get into the property market, you're like, yes, I can help you.
I can help you. You've got investments that are bubbling away, a little bit of cash flow in the background. You work not because you have to, but because you still enjoy it and it gives you a sense of purpose. Gosh, I feel good talking about that. It can feel that emotion.
Yeah, and that's why I'll constantly come back to these podcasts. It doesn't matter where someone's buying. The where is slightly irrelevant if you're not taking action. In fact, the hotspot location, we could tell you right now, we could probably get H-Tag back on here, we'd get a couple of BAs on here, may go and buy in this location, Tassie's on the up, whatever it's going to be, that's so irrelevant if you're not actually taking any action. And the amount of times I see YouTube, this is what I talk about being viral. The housing market's overcooked. People on punters politics, ABC are bearish on property, and it's got 40, 50, 100,000 views. Why the property market's unaffordable. This bullshit that people peddle on YouTube and they get views off the back of these thumbnails. Misery loves company, man. Misery loves company. People saying that you can't get into the property market, that type of rhetoric has no place here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening and you've got people in your circle of friends saying investing is taking away from other people's ability to get into the property market, that BS, just shut it out. Shut it out. For example, if you want to level up your personal game, I want you to plug in to yourself and go to another level where you're just unreachable mentally and financially as well. That's my yearning for people, is to get to a place where it's just uncommon.
Aaron, I have not seen you. We've been married now 13 years, running this business together for 12 and a bit. I have not seen you as dialed in and as focused as you are now. Like you're like a laser that has a target. What can you describe for people the journey that you've been on in terms of this focus and this clarity?
I don't know. I think maybe I'm more comfortable in my own skin. I've got nothing to prove. Let me be very, very specific. I'm not begging for clients anymore. I think that's probably what's happened, if I can be absolutely honest with you. The wait list to get an appointment sits almost 2 weeks. Yeah? So I'm personally oversubscribed with clients. So I can only work with a handful of clients, new clients. And so I'm not wasting my time on people that don't want to take action. So I've filtered and going, mate, if you've got intentions of just having a chat and go, maybe I might buy an investment property, I can't work with you.
So I think a lot of what I've been hearing is, you don't want to work with those people, which I absolutely understand.
Yeah, and it's not in a harsh way.
But I think the people, I think the people that are listening want to take action. I think the people that are listening, so say you're talking to those people.
Okay, cool. Then I say, strap yourself onto my back and let's go. I'll put you on my back and I'll carry you, because I love it. I love that feeling of like a bit of leadership. I do it with our team. How many of our team, the newbies in our team, have zero experience? Zero. They didn't know what LMI and an LVR was. They do now. Don't worry, guys. No, as in like when they came, fresh. They had zero experience. But all they saw in them was something in their eye going, I want to learn and I want to be a student and I want to make my life better. I said, if that's your attitude, I'll meet you halfway, hop on my back and let's go. And be prepared to work hard, because this isn't easy. And it's the same that goes for investors. Mate, I want to build a 1% property portfolio. I want to change my family's life. I want to change my financial future. I want to pay off my mortgage in 10 years. I want an amazing life where I can travel, because I want that. And I only want to work with people that want that. And I don't have, you know me, I grew up in a house of boys watching Fast and Furious. I want fast cars. Mm-hmm. But it got to last year. For the last 2 years on my birthday, I promised to hire a supercar for a day. And I said, mate, let's take the car. Hire a Ferrari or a Lambo Bernie, and we'll go for a few hours drive around Sydney. And what happened? In my mind, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Financially, we could just hire it for a few hours. It doesn't cost that much. But I said, the second I did that, I would have felt I made it. And then I'd care less. In my mind, that's how I think. I still think in my mind, I've got $0 in the bank account, because I need that hunger in the belly. So this just talks to my mindset going, I don't think, because the second that I make it, I'll probably get a little bit sloppy. I don't have to get back to that client. I could probably take an afternoon off work, for example. I could take a few shortcuts. But when I've got a team in here that are relying on me, when I've got clients that are relying on me, I love that responsibility. I love that ability around leadership. And I'm like, guys, girls, come on. Let's rock and roll. Let's make some absolute bank here. And then in 5 years' time, we'll go for that drive. And maybe it's delayed gratification that I've really just embraced. I'm very careful about where my energy goes and who I hang out with now as well. I'm very, very selective, and not in a rude way or an ego way. I just can't be around small-minded losers. Like, that's, again, harsh, but that's how I've got to be. I can't be working with clients that I'm like, oh, my broker is a nice guy, so then work with them. But why are you talking to me if they can't get you the results? That's the bullshit I can't understand. Why are you happy to accept someone that's a nice person but can't get you results? I'm telling you I'll get you the results. I have proven I will get you the results. I've proven to this team I can double, triple incomes if you work hard. I've proven it.
Yeah.
And I think I've got nothing left to prove anymore, in zero ego, because I just want to work with people that are like, man, you're my broker. And we're just going, and we're setting a plan in place. And the amount of times that I talk to people and I can see a bigger future for them than they can for themselves, because I'm like, man, we're buying 4 in 2026. And they're like, what? I didn't think I'd buy 4 in my lifetime. I'm like, yeah, we're buying 4 in 1 year. You got the borrowing capacity, you got the equity, and you got the cash flow. Give me the reason why we're not doing this now. And they jump off the phone like, that's awesome. And that then lights me up, because I'm lighting someone else up, and it gives me purpose.
I've really seen that this year. Last year, I think something unlocked in you.
Do you know what it was? I had the amazing opportunity to travel around the country with our industry, one of our industry bodies, and I presented to well over 1,000 brokers. And when I spoke about what we do and just the looks on their faces, and they've been broking for 20 years, and the looks on their faces when I was like, here's what we do, here's how we do, and they're like, how? And it's so harsh. I was like, it was pathetic what I saw out there. 23,000 brokers. And I have a saying, why do we shoot for excellence when mediocrity is acceptable? And if I don't have a tattoo, if I was to get a tattoo, I'd probably put that right here on my chest and go, why do we strive for excellence when, how many people work in workplaces where there's just mediocrity? I've worked in workplaces and I would just take a broom and I'd sweep the place out. They generally say in a workplace, the square root of the number of people that work there are actually the ones that are producing the results. You've got a team of 9, square root, 3 are actually the ones producing the results.
It's the 80-20 rule.
So what are the
right?
other 6 doing?
Yeah.
Just leeching and being passengers. I'd rather just cut quality over quantity. The same goes for property. You don't need 10 properties if that's not the goal. You need a square root of that. You need 3
really
gun
good quality,
properties.
yeah.
You don't need 10. You need 3. Quality over quantity.
Hold for 10 years.
Double, triple in value.
Yeah.
Sell them. Clear down some debt. Hold a couple, for example. Buy commercial. Whatever you need to do. These are all different ideas, but the core message is the same. And I don't want to be mediocre as a broker. I want to be top talent. I want to be excellent.
Well, there's no doubt you're already top talent, like for listeners that haven't heard.
Why? You can't rest on your laurels, Bernie.
Absolutely, but I'll just put this in there for listeners that haven't heard. Last year, Aaron was listed as top 18. So 18 in the top 100 mortgage brokers in the country, which I think is an amazing achievement. Out of 23,000 mortgage brokers. So literally, you guys have the opportunity to listen to someone who is the top 0.1%. So not even 1%. He's sitting in that category, and I think that what I have really taken away as your wife, as your business partner, is there is something that has unlocked in you. And that saying of, why do we strive for excellence when mediocrity is accepted? That in my own life, my health, in this business, I am not accepting mediocrity anymore. Like only excellence will do. And, we've had conversations with this about the way the schooling system's set up, and, it does work to averages, but just because we were conditioned or taught in that way doesn't mean that we need to live our lives in that way anymore. And you are so capable of achieving anything that you put your mind to. Like, this is something I truly believe, because I didn't think this space that we are in right now was possible. I did not believe that this was possible. And over 2.5 years, we have unlocked something, and we have truly created something for ourselves, for this business, for our family's wealth, that is what I thought was impossible.
And then, but it's like magnetic energy. It just attracts other people. Build it and they'll come. Build a portfolio, people will come. Build a mindset, people will come. So that notion of build it and they will come isn't just necessarily build a building. It's building a mindset and they will come. Build a healthy body and people ask you, hey, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like it's so all encompassing. And that's why I just keep talking in this podcast. It's almost the psychology of investing in property as opposed to how to, like there's an how to element, there's a why to element, there's a when to element, but there's a psychology element, which is the reason to invest in property is to have an insane life because quite frankly, the Australian property market, you've got to get in it. You can only be in it to win it. Mm-hmm. Those sitting outside it complain about it, thinking it's the government's responsibility to change negative gearing. It's the government's responsibility to supply housing. It's the government's responsibility to lower house prices. I'm like, yeah, you guys keep waiting for the government to change it and I'll just keep buying property. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, you guys that are waiting for the government and you're going to wait for the government to give you a leg up in retirement, mate, what a I don't know, terrible strategy that is. Like we're talking to people that are highly attuned, very in tune people that are here. Thanks, Bertie. I appreciate, and I hope that really kind of gets the juices going for some people. That if you want to be around really good talent, then maybe this is the place for you in terms of the brokerage for you to work with. Yeah, some insane brokers out there. There's some top talent brokers out there.
Yeah.
Just be willing to get a meeting with some of these guys, girls out there, because the top brokers that I know and hang out with, busy people. And it's such a blessing and a curse because all the knowledge sits in my head that I can only work with that. You can only work with that many people without spreading yourself too thin.
Which is the beauty of this podcast, right? Like I think we this is sort of going back to you a little bit just to close it off, but we've done a number of personality profiling tests over the years, and one of them was the Gallup Strength Finder. And one of Aaron's strengths that I found that was particularly inspiring was the maximizer strength. And basically, Aaron is someone who will, like he said before, see a bigger picture for you than you can yourself, and he will help you unlock potential for you that you did not know was there. And so you use this opportunity when you tune in every week. He's here. It's a mission. It's a mission now for you. I think it's
the money's irrelevant.
It's a life purpose. I think you have unlocked something, not only in your ability to motivate and train and uplift your team, but it's the motivation and the education and the empowering of your clients. And I don't see you stopping because that's what
are we going to do?
What are you going to do? Because you definitely can't stay at home because we might kill each other. So I think it's just use this opportunity when you hear Aaron every week to really tune in to this, because he is on another level that I have not seen him on, and he's going to the moon.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thanks. You talk about top talent, top 1%, for example. I've got a question for you. What do you think the top 1% of earners are in this country? So I'm going to go individual. How much do you think they're earning as an individual to be deemed top 1%?
Oh gosh, this is tough. Top 1%, like they're earning 800.
Whoa. You overshot that by nearly double.
Oh, sorry.
Top 1% on average are earning $375K.
Wow. Wow.
Top 5% to be considered in the top 5% as an individual. How much are you earning then?
Say again. So what was the last one? 300.
To be top 1%, you're earning $375K.
And then top
5%.
Okay. Well, then maybe it's sitting around 200.
Yeah, 190.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're earning 190, you're pretty much in the top 5%.
Yep.
A lot of our clients that do reach out kind of sit there, top 5%. As a household, top 1%, what do you think that looks like as a household?
Well, you said 375 if you're individuals, so yeah, maybe 800. That's what I meant. 800
Yeah.
as a household.
530.
Wow, top 1%.
Top 1%, 530K. Top 5%
As a household.
as a household.
$400.
305. If that's you, just take that for a second. I'm going to go through the top. Let's work backwards on this. The median. So the median is 55K for an individual. The average 76K. The top 20%, 105K. Top 10%, 143K. Top 5%, 190. And top 1%, 375. So if you're an individual and you're earning that, you can get a quickly good feel for where you sit gross income wise in the country. As a household, median household income, 93K. Average household income, 120K. Top 20%, we'll call it 180K. Top 10%, 235. Top 5%, 305K, and the top 1%, 530. I want to say probably in the last, I'm just going to pick out the last 2 weeks, for example. I've probably spoken to, I don't know how many clients that would sit at least in the top 10. Household income's 235. These are what I call Henrys, and not me personally. This is what the internet's calling them Henrys. High earners, not rich yet.
Yep.
So what I mean by that is, look, some of them are getting close to having their mortgage paid off, for example, or they've got decent mortgages, right? And they've got a couple of investment properties. And on paper, they go, man, the house is worth a couple mil, investment properties a couple mil, for example, but savings is like 5K, 10K. And so Henrys are high earners, not rich yet. So they don't feel rich, but yet, to me, being the key word in here. High earners, not rich yet. So what I'm saying to you, I'm speaking to you, if you're earning a decent income and you go, man, I don't really feel rich yet, it goes back to this notion of delayed gratification as well. But I also think when we're speaking about buckets, there are leaky buckets in here. Leaky buckets, because if you're on that type of income and you don't have a savings buffer, I'm going to give you a little nudge, and I could probably tell you where the leaky buckets are. It's probably the car repayments. That's
Yes.
probably one. It's a lifestyle creep where I see it the holidays are Butte holidays, overseas, Disneylands, for example, whatever it's going to be. You've got to give the kids a lot. Let me give you a personal example. We have taken the kids to Disneyland, Hong Kong.
Yep.
Great holiday. We even did the Disney cruise over January. Great holiday. Can I tell you the funnest holiday?
Please.
Was camping down the coast. I've got Georgia, our marketing manager, behind the camera laughing.
Aaron was adamant for years.
I was never a camper.
Let me tell you. I took him camping with my camping equipment. Yes, for all the blokes out there, you can laugh at him. It's my
I have
camping
no equipment.
He has got nothing. I said, come along if you want, or if you don't want, no pressure. We got an unpowered site. We were lucky we had my parents down there. They had their caravan, so they had most of the gear. So I needed somewhere to set the tent up. Unpowered site, booked it last minute, Australia Day long weekend. It was an expensive site, $80 a night. That's expensive.
$80 a night. We would spend that at breakfast without breaking a sweat when we go on holidays.
Absolutely.
Minimum.
Absolutely.
With 2 kids.
Couple of coffees for 4 people to feed.
Mate.
I have never seen this guy so relaxed. And if that's all it takes, mate, every holidays we're going camping.
Oh, look, there's something in it where I think you can think you're giving your kids a great life, and this might be a little bit philosophical here, but go with me. I think sometimes we do things with the greatest intention, going, we're going to give our kids an amazing life, all the experiences I didn't get. And yeah, mate, don't get me wrong, there's an amazing opportunity to jump on a plane and take your kids on a holiday. Time and a place. But what our kids actually really want, they want our time, they want our attention, they want to hang out. And I think while we've got our kids, particularly if you're listening, we've got our 7 and 5-year-old girls. But I think the same even goes over time, and we're amazed constantly how quick time does go with them. And like I said, sometimes this podcast has less to do with investing and more to do with life and lifestyle. It's just more to go, hey, look, in terms of priorities, could you, instead of sinking that money into Disneyland, put that into your own property portfolio? That property then doubles over time, and you go to Disneyland in, call it 5 years' time, when the kids are ready to travel. International travel makes sense, for example. I think that's my message to a lot of people, going, hey, mate, sometimes the simple life and sometimes the path of least resistance could be the journey. Yeah, the great book, Obstacle is the Way. That's a great book if people haven't read that too. And it's just more, hey, look, how do we realign priorities? Because when you have a fixed income, salaries, you then, and we're talking about this here, let's take the top 1% of household incomes, 530K. Now, they're on the highest tax bracket, so they're losing probably half that income. Yep. So 530 divided by 2, what's that?
265.
Okay, so let's go 270, for example. It's 20 grand a month. Now, the mortgage repayments are probably close to 10 grand. Then you got kids, and generally what they're doing at that income level is going to private schools.
Yeah.
Or there's a lifestyle in there as well, kids extracurricular. And what happens is I ask them how much is left over, and there's not much left over. Whereas I have income clients that are on 150 grand and they got more in savings. Yeah.
Or more properties.
And I'm like, it's a real shame. It's a real shame at that point. So if you're working hard for your high income, but that high income's not working hard for you, again, maybe this is a little nudge that you need to go, hey, is the operating rhythm that we have at the moment working for us? Because if I was a business, put yourself through a business lens, and if I had high revenue but low or no profit, versus if I cut that back and I had less revenue but higher profit, you'd go, which is the better business model? Cash flow, so profit is vanity, cash flow is sanity. The same thing that you'd apply to your household, going, doesn't matter how much your household is earning, it's what's left over that matters, not the turnover. It's not the revenue. It's not the top line number. It's actually what's left over at the end of the day. Yep. So if you're going paycheck to paycheck and you're on some really strong incomes and you're telling me you don't have the ability to go and invest, just be prepared for me to challenge you or call you out on that, because the amount of times that you'll go to your broker, their eyes will light up. It's a $2 million mortgage, bang, payday. I don't care about that. I care about your ability to go and buy 5 investment properties that's then going to pay off the mortgage in 10 years' time, for example. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but what it means is, hey, mate, maybe it's not Disneyland for the next couple of years. It's a trip to the Goldie. It's a trip down to the peninsula. It's a trip down, I don't know, to the caravan park, or whatever it's going to be. Whatever that lights up your family, for example, and all they really want is our time and energy. Yep. Not the expensive holiday.
And it comes back to, Aaron, which I really want to dive in with you in another episode. It really is, I think people can work with that delayed gratification if it's a 7 to 10 year play. People can go, hey, I'm willing to forego a couple of those trips, whatever it is, if there is a plan. Most people don't have the plan. They don't have the blueprint, which I think is something, as we were discussing offline before. We really want to map this plan out for you.
I mean, we talk about loan strategies, and I think that's what we do. We do day-to-day bread and butter stuff. Is you guys come to me with a yearning to go, what's the roadmap? Give me the loan strategy, the acquisition plan to go from here I am to get the next 4 or 5 properties. And we'll generally eat that for breakfast.
That's easy.
We generally eat that for breakfast. Where I think we have a yearning now is to go the step ahead, which is, hey, mate, take me to this land of a mirage, of mortgage-free mirage. Okay, how do I pay off my loan without being a donkey for the next 30 years?
Yeah, it's the exit. It's the game plan. It's the exit strategy. what are we doing this for? If we're pumping, like you say, 150 a week into this investment property, or 150 a week per investment property, that's cash we're foregoing for us in the here and now. If you're holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties, you're
to get to that,
foregoing
let me just go back a step on that, Bernie. So what you're saying here is you've got to be prepared to budget for a cash shortfall, $150 per week.
So our budgets, our buckets, I put $500 a month. I just try to keep it simple for me.
Per property.
Per property.
Cool. So let's go back to basics on this. We buy a property. We bought one property, $650K.
Yep.
Now that property is fully financed, so it's $650K loan plus stamp duty plus BA fee. So we're probably in the hole for about $700K on that loan.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying is on a $700K loan that we've got, interest only, the shortfall between the rental income and our outgoings is at least $150 per week.
Yep.
Cool. So if you can afford $150 per week, you can afford to buy an investment property at $650. 650K.
It's that simple.
It is that simple. And sometimes it's so simple that people go, what's the catch here? The catch is a lot of investors come to me going, I want this property to be cash flow neutral. And that's when you're going to get me revved up to go, why the hell you got a car loan then? Why the hell you got credit cards? Why the hell you got leaky buckets? Because the car loan repayment of $950 is 2 investment properties. You hold on to those, you sell one, then you go and buy a car outright if you really want the car. Labor the point on car loans. But you can see where I'm going at this. You're talking, it's like saying, I want to be able to eat chocolate and still have a 6-pack.
Definitely. And so I think I really like this saying now, KISS, keep it simple, silly. Let's keep this super simple for the listeners. If you can find $150 a week in your budget, if you can look at your buckets, so most people have no buckets, if you can look at your cash flow going in, and if you can go, hey, we can cut a dinner, a breakfast here and there's your $150, literally, because a dinner and a breakfast costs $80 a session, whatever it is.
Our dinner, when we go out, geez, I'm surprised sometimes about, and we don't drink a lot. You might have we've stopped probably drinking when we go out. I'm still surprised at how much we'll drop on just a casual dinner. Like a local Thai will cost us $90, $100 sometimes. It's crazy.
But if you're looking for, hey, how can I afford this? You need to rework. You need to get your buckets in place. You need to see where the money's going, and you need to find that $150 a week. And
don't expect
I guarantee you that you can do it. I guarantee you can find it. And
don't expect the property to deliver. Everyone's expecting these properties to deliver amazing cash flow and go up at the same time and not cost them a dime and never have any maintenance issues and provide negative gearing. Stop expecting the property to do all the heavy lifting.
Your property will do the heavy lifting in the capital growth that it will do in 5 to 7 years' time. And like someone in our team who bought their property in Queensland 5 years ago, she came to me and said, hey, my property's just done $500K in capital growth in the last 12 months.
It was 100, not 500.
Oh, 500 in the last 5 years.
Correct. Yeah.
500 in the last 5 years. So it's 100 basically average 100,000 in the last.
It was a cracking growth asset that she bought.
Absolutely. Yeah. That 500 grand of capital growth is worth 150 a week. 100%.
It's forced savings at that
point.
Forced savings, because the owner occupied place is great, but unless you're tapping the equity in it, it's not an asset.
Yeah.
It's a giant personal loan.
Yeah.
The mortgage is a giant personal loan. Trying to get you out of mortgage jail as quickly as possible so you don't have to keep going to work for 30 years. How do we do that? By investing in a couple of properties. We're going to double down on this. We're going to show you the blueprint about how to be mortgage free. I'm kind of just dropping a few nuggets here that it's like, hey, whet the appetite. If you guys are loving that, we're going to go down that pathway for you. So I think what happens is, as an investor, you've probably got a few options. Okay, great. Do I go down the path of a professional investor to build a portfolio? And then you have options around that, whether you're chasing net passive income, a certain asset base, for example, or setting yourself up for retirement. That's a pathway you can follow. If you're a family with a mortgage and it's a large sizable mortgage and you're trying to get out of mortgage jail, okay, invest in a couple of properties to then pay off your mortgage within a 10-year window. If you're a younger client and you're happy to rent vest, which I think is a great strategy for someone in their 20s because you
Yes.
don't need an owner occupied. But then at some point in your mid to late 30s, you do want to buy your own home.
Yep.
Well, rent investing for a decade will get you to the outcome that you can then sell down your portfolio, have an amazing deposit to go and buy your house, get you into your owner occupied, and then you go into invest as well. But I think underpinning all those is the ability to still keep investing without the cash flow burn through self-managed super funds as well.
Yep.
Not advice. This is just a strategy and a tactic, for example, to go, you don't really feel that negative cash flow because each week or month or quarter, you're topping up your super, that it's closing that gap up on any negative cash burn that you've got inside an SMSF property too.
Absolutely.
And then you can then eventually go to sell those resis, trade up into, say, commercial, for example, really move into high yielding assets too. But it's unlock one level, get to the next level, get to the next level, and it's the journey that we're on as well. So I think we've covered a good amount of turf there. To wrap up this income conversation, I want to ask you a question. What is an income level, according to Finder research, that people need to feel rich?
As a household?
Well, this is saying what the Finder research revealed Australians wouldn't feel rich unless they earned a minimum amount of close to X dollars per year. What do you think that number is, the income expectation that people have?
I'm going to say gosh, this is tricky. Maybe like 200 like a year per person.
Double that, 400K.
Wow.
I read this. I was like, Australians think they need to earn 400K a year to feel rich. If you're earning 400K right now, you're in the top 1%. So what they're saying is, I'm an average Australian, but I want to be a top 1% Australian. All right, cool. Show me your diary and show me what you're doing. And that's the misguided shit I think that's sometimes out there, to go, you don't need 400K. You do not need 400K to feel rich. Like you said, your number 200K. You could have a pretty good life off 200K. You just got to be very smart about where it goes.
Absolutely.
Because at 400K, I'll tell you what happens. You adjust your lifestyle to a 400K lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it comes back to values, Aaron. Like, we've done a lot of work on values over the last 12 months, but if you're super clear on what your values are as an individual and as a couple, then where you spend your money will be aligned. So, example for you, you are so dialed into your health at the moment, and any extra money that you have is going into improving your sleep, your nutrition, your supplements, anything like that. For someone else, it might not be their health. For someone else, it might be their car, and they're putting all their money into their car. And I think the danger of lifestyle creep is where people are earning more, but then in all aspects of their life, in their health, in their car, in their home, in their clothes, in their shoes, in their eating out, everything goes up. And that is the problem with lifestyle creep. Because I think if you're earning more, if you truly value health, if you truly value your car, if you truly value your home and making it a beautiful space, you should be able to tip in a little bit extra into those key areas of your life that truly give you joy. But I think what happens is that when you get to that higher income level,
your entire lifestyle gets upgraded.
You've got a new car, new clothes, that's like, I think that is the danger.
Yeah, you might be on something there actually. I read that. I'm like, to be happy, we'll ask clients that are on 400K, ask them if they're happy, they'd say, are you mad? No way am I happy. I still yearn for more. And the goalpost will continue to move. You ask clients, mate, 5 years ago, would you be happy with the 5 property portfolio? Mate, I still need more, because cost of living has gone up, expectations have gone up. They've unlocked a level that they now need to keep moving. And there's nothing wrong with growth. I think that's where I'm, I really want to underpin this going. I love growth. I love the mindset of achieve more as well. But then also the flip side to that is there's diminishing returns around happiness, enjoyment. Will you ever be content? But then it's, what are you doing with that? What are you going to do with that 400K once you get there? Yeah. Is it the ability to go and buy more investment properties? Okay, great. Be intentional around that. But if you're being sloppy with the money, right? If you're being sloppy with your time, then the 400 quickly becomes 600 and you're chasing this elusive number. That means very little, as opposed to how can I be resourceful with that income? So yeah, I wanted to wrap that up and just let that sit there and go, right, 5 years ago, would you have killed for this income level that you're at? Okay, great. Then what are you doing with that income as well? And that's where I'm like, if you are working hard for your money, is your money working hard for you? I want that to be the message that hits home, along with all the nuggets that we'll kind of drop throughout this episode as well. You'll see the podcast this year will cover some really good topics. I'm probably less inclined to bring on guests for the guest's sake as well. What I really want to go is double down on the people that are listening and tuning in regularly to go, how are we moving the needle for you? Because if you're listening to this, 45 minutes or so a week, what are you actually doing now to take action off the back of this? Yeah. Listening is one thing. Taking action is another thing. And so we want to provide tools. We want to provide ways that you can reach out off the back of that. The Property Accelerator Group is probably the easiest way to kind of dip your toe in the water to go, okay, what are other investors doing? How are they talking? And that runs once every month on a Wednesday evening. So if that's something you're keen to, jump on there at the very least. It doesn't really cost you anything or much really to jump in that group. Best way to get in. The next one that we're going to really talk about is, hey, how do we get out of mortgage jail? How do we invest? Go through the mechanics of this, because what I'm hearing from a lot of people, what I'm hearing from Bernie and Georgia is, hey mate, let's make this very palatable and understandable for people that are coming in, just to chip away and move forward as well. So I'm really valuing the feedback that people have. Keep the messages, the DMs, the SMSs, the emails, keep those coming in. And as always, if this is an episode that you really loved and you want to share it with your respective partner, please do, because that's just that ripple effect that gets bigger and bigger each episode as well. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Jumping on. And thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.